Hey, y'all good in here? You good? All right. Hey guys, Mason, Cardinal Gaming. As long as we're good, I'm gonna take this off. All right. All right, guys. So I want to do a video. I want to talk about just YouTubing and business owning and um, taking criticisms and things like that. I was going back and forth whether or not I really wanted to make a video like this. But I think I can do it, and it's going to be okay, and we can be mature about it, and it's not going to get ugly at all. I think it's going to actually be very, very good, very positive for everybody involved. So I want to start off and say, when you go on YouTube and you make content, and even if you only have a minorly successful channel, like I do, my channel is not huge at all. My channel is not great. I don't get tons and tons of views. I am a speck of sand on the beach. I'm a tiny drop in the bucket of the ocean. All those analogies. So, that being said, I do understand that with the situations that come about, that, and because of how I present content, that I come off as an expert, and that's somebody that should be listened to and highly coveted, and have all these external pressures put on me because of the type of content that I am creating and what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. That is absolutely fine, and I encourage that behavior to an extent, because obviously everything that's on YouTube, everything is not divine mandate. It is not. YouTube is an entertainment platform. This is a place where, yes, you can absolutely learn things. How many of us have YouTube something, how to blank, and figure things out and how to do it immediately? You know, there's lots of content that you can learn things on this platform, and that's perfectly fine. That's a good use of this platform. I also acknowledge that there's a lot of just fluff, satirical, ironical stuff out here that is done for entertainment purposes, and that sometimes those things can be mixed together to entertain and kind of edutainment. Edutainment? That's the thing, right? We can mix those things together and try to make it interesting and fun. And I understand that sometimes when you make comparisons, similes, use visuals, that things get mixed up and not everybody sees the point sometimes. That's okay. It's completely understandable. We'll talk about that in a second. And also that when you have a channel like mine, anybody's channel, it really, you should be taking that stuff with the absolute grain of salt. Take things and be critical of them. And counter the opinion, counter that kind of stuff, and give information if you have a platform in any form. If you want to make a comment, if you want to like or dislike it, all those things are ways to give your opinion back to the content creator. There's productive ways and there's unproductive ways to do it. I'm not going to say one way or the other that everything I say is perfect and that all my opinions are perfect and that I don't always phrase things properly. And sometimes the opinion comes back to me and I look at it and I go, yes, that's a great opinion. I can take that and internalize that and know that that is a true critique. And I also know when things aren't. Do the same thing when you watch content. Understand that, separate the fact from the opinion, and understand that all that can be interpreted and thrown at you in a way that is either true or false, and that opinion is just that. It's somebody's opinion. So, to quote the great S.M. Pratt, I have two balls, and neither of them are crystal. If people ask my opinion, or if I give my opinion on something, it's just that. And I may have a more baseline of knowledge and have some information, which I try to share on the channel, that will dictate my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's just that. It's just my opinion. So that's content creation as a whole. You got to be able to sniff out those things. And if you don't like somebody's information and you don't think it's true, verify the source and verify the information with other people. There's plenty of other people that make content just like mine, for example. And you can go to them and ask them questions and say, hey, Danny Phantom, what is your take on this? Or Squeaks, what's your take on this? Or you can even come straight to me. I'm going to put in all the descriptions of my video now my business email, mason@cardinalgaming.com. Anybody can send me an email and ask me any question they want. And I will try to respond within reason. I'm not going to go back and forth, ping pong back and forth with you. But anybody that sends me a question, I will try to respond. And so long as it's, a good, valid question and I can actually get and make a point across to you, I'm going to answer it. That's fine. But, yeah, hopefully that's a better way to have a dialogue directly with me. It's going to be better than Discord and Instagram and Facebook and going through the business. Now we can just talk straight to me. You don't have to worry about anything else. And like I said, I will try to respond to everybody. Give a response, and then we can have dialogue if you want to. That's perfectly fine. I'm happy to do that. I just can't go through the comments and go back and forth and have these big long comment strings, and it gets messy, and yeah, we don't want to do all that. So yeah, I'm going to put that in the description of all my videos now. But that type of interaction is good. Reacting to videos and giving your opinion is good as well. It's a good thing for the hobby. Like, do that. Like, give your opinion and counter other people's opinions. It's okay. And understand that I can take that and I can watch something that's talking about me, and I can internalize that without being angry and being retaliative. All these people that did pieces on me, I don't dislike them. I'm glad that they're feeling that it's important enough to have a counter dialogue with me. That's great. I'm happy to talk, and I'm happy to discuss anything with anybody. But again, there's a way to do that and get directly to me, so I don't have to go back and forth and have it be just really in a messy way that is hard to keep track of. I'm already scatterbrained enough as it is. I don't need to be chasing comments everywhere else. Email's always the easiest way. So, that being said, know that when you watch something that sometimes people use a visual and it's going to help illustrate the point. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it works for some people, and sometimes people don't get it. That could be on the presentation, and then that's something to be thinking about. So let's talk specifically about my $7 hot dog video. Obviously, I knew it was going to get some reaction. Obviously, that's why I did it. That's why I do all the videos. I want to have some sort of interaction with people and put stuff out there. So when I made the $7 hot dog video, I very purposely did a lot of things. And it's kind of like when you're in a meeting or something, and it's like, if I'm going to do something and give you a physical representation of something, instead of going and doing a PowerPoint slide or something, it keeps you more engaged. It keeps you more thinking about things, and with the analogy and things, you can make parallels. And when I do things with visuals, or anybody does anything with visuals, it just keeps you more mentally engaged with things. So when I make comparisons like that, obviously it's to get your attention and to illustrate a point and help illustrate a point. But sometimes, like I said, because of that sort of representation, things can get misconstrued, which I understand completely. So in the $7 hot dog video, the crappy looking hot dog was on purpose. And the information I went about and saying in that video was not to be like, I said the hot dog, a $7 hot dog at Disneyland is whatever I said, and with a comparison about Disneyland and hot dogs. That is not comparing my store to Disneyland. The point of that was to say that things put outside pressure to make something that otherwise would not have value have more or less value. Things like pricing, price memory. People thinking something that should be expensive because it was expensive one time. That kind of stuff definitely follows through with that. FOMO has a lot of things to do with that. All these things that exert pressure onto an object can give it worth, and depending on the situation, that item has worth. Is that 50-cent hot dog at Disneyland worth $7? It depends. How bad do you want it? That was the point, and I hope, and I think a lot of people did understand that, and that's what I was getting at. It was definitely not comparing my store to Disneyland. That's insane. That's not completely true at all. That's not. And I don't think of it that way. And if that came off as me saying that, and then it made me look elitist, like I have a great store, I'm constantly improving my store. There's a lot of flaws with it. We're always growing. As a small business, you're always growing. So I just wanted to address that particularly. My point is that I did that for a reaction. I did that for entertainment purposes. And I got that. And that I can internalize the responses, some of which were negative, some were great and positive and enjoyed it. And a vast majority, I think, understood and enjoyed it. But yeah, obviously it's complicated because we all have different experience. And my experience and what's happening in my sphere is different from what's happening in other people's spheres and in their lives. And when people see, I have tons of product behind me, and they go out in Walmart and Targets and can't find any, that can make them emotional and upset. And when you go out to Walmart and Targets and you see product out there and you're like, I don't know what this dude's talking about. This stuff's everywhere. Again, that's in your sphere and it's relative. So that's just kind of the stuff that I want to talk about and address right out the gate. Is that look at stuff and come at it in a direction that, yes, this is one person's opinion, this is one person's take on it, and that we all have different takes and we all have different experiences that we can add to that and communicate to each other and have it not be personal and offensive and, feel like it's in a place of malice. It should be a back and forth thing that we can have a dialogue and not have it be something that is upsetting to people. So it's just important to, dissect facts from opinions and understand that opinions are, the people that they are, and, and as far as facts go, verify them and make sure that they're good information. So let's move on to pricing. I know I say and talk about my pricing a lot, all the time, in a lot of my videos, but I also have to understand and remember, this is something that I'm taking from the critiques and people's responses, is that not everybody has watched the whole breadth of my work. I did I think one of my best videos ever done was about the scalping situation, or the interactions with Walmarts and Targets, and it was with Whiteboard. I thought it was a great video. I think this was one of my best videos I ever did. But obviously, that was months ago, and people that are watching the video now more than likely did not see that video. And it was when I was a much smaller channel, and I had a lot less, people talking about my stuff, and that's awesome. And, that's just, I need to remember that going forward, that not everybody who's just been here and is, like, watching all my stuff. I understand it. And I'm going to do better about illustrating basic points and going over that kind of stuff in the future. So, again, let's talk about pricing. So, when you look at my store and you look at pricing, and I have my prices set at a certain thing. All my prices for all my products, all sealed product for TCGs is 10% above TCG Player. The lowest active listing on TCG Player, we're 10% above it. And people look at that and go, wow, that guy's charging more than anybody else. Which may or may not be true. I'm pretty sure there's definitely stores out there that are selling stuff for a lot more than me, but that's, again, beside the point. Again, spheres and understanding that we all live in different situations. My store is going to make decisions based on what me, my business partner, and my managers thinks is best. And that's what we've come up with. That's what works. And the good thing about being a small business is that I can take that information and take situations and I can react to them and be like, okay, this isn't working. Let's move it and change it. So as things dictate those sort of actions, and like as Pokemon slows down and there's not all this demand for it, that may have to change. It's just the reality of being a business owner and being able to be very in tune with how the market is handling things. So when people see my prices that are 10% above TCG Player, and they look at that and they go, this guy is overpricing his stuff. Correct. I am overpricing my stuff, particularly with online stuff. And again, this is kind of a division between stores that have online business only versus brick and mortars. And I hate the example of people saying, well, he's got employees and rent and all this stuff. That is less of a point to me. That is not justification for stupid, crazy pricing, in my mind. It is definitely a factor that goes into all the things I have to worry about when pricing something, but it's not the sole reason for that. And it's also not a reason or justifying the prices for being what they are. I don't like that. I don't like that example personally. There is merit to it, but I don't like it personally. So the reason why I price my stuff, especially with pre-orders, so high is, and I know this is going to be hard to believe, is to dissuade people from buying it. I know. I don't want people to buy all my product, because then when that product comes in, I don't have anything on my shelves anymore. And that doesn't help me as a business that relies on a community and people coming in and buying things from me on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, whatever it may be, just whenever they stop in and know, hey, they have Pokemon cards. If I don't have the product on the shelf, I can't sell that to them. And in my experience of having a business and having this brick and mortar store, not having product is more detrimental to my business than overpricing my product. Does that make sense? Because having product at least shows people that I have it. If I don't have product, they're going to think that I don't have it, and then they never come back for that product. So that's something to think about and consider when going through and pricing things. And that's why we price the way we do. It has nothing to do with because we're a brick and mortar and we have bills and blah, blah, blah. It's because I want to dissuade you from buying it and buying me out of my stuff. I promise. So when I do pre-orders, and they're still 10% above TCG Player, just like if they had them in store and they've been released, that stuff is priced that way so I don't get bought out online because the demand is there. So if I have the product come out and it's release weekend and all my stuff's already pre-ordered and gone, and then somebody comes in knowing it's release weekend to look for my stuff and they don't see it, that's a bad experience. I had expectations, you failed to meet them. That's on me. That's a fault of the business. If I come in, if somebody walks in, sees that I have product and they don't like the price, then they have a decision to make whether or not they want to buy it or not buy it. If I don't have the product at all, that decision's already made for them. Does that make sense? And that's different from a place that runs an online store like Danny Phantom, Squeak Scan World. All those guys don't have to worry about having a continual buying experience because if they're sold out of something online, somebody just hits the notification button, and then when it comes back in stock, they'll be notified. I don't have that same experience with people that come into my store. I have the same thing on my website for people that just buy exclusively online, but I don't have that ability to say, hey, I have this back in stock, or I don't have it in stock. And they can see that it's not in stock. To just online customers. I have to worry about both sides. I have to worry about my local guys being able to get product if they want it. Again, if they want it. And people that come into my store, they can see the prices and be like, hey, this is more expensive. And I explain to them why. And they're like, oh, okay. Then I'm just going to do this instead, or something else. They make the decision. If I don't have the product at all, we don't have a dialogue. We don't get to have a talk. We don't get to explain why things are the way they are. So that's why my prices are more, because I am actively dissuading you from buying them, especially in pre-order. So that's why steel prices are the way they are. And that's the justification for it, because I have to have it on my shelf. And that, especially now, when I can't get stock of it for weeks and weeks, months potentially, I have to worry about that stock being there, and I have to stretch that product out to last that entire amount of time. If I don't have product on my shelves for that entire length of time between orders, I messed up, because that means I don't have the product in store. People can expect it to be in my store. That's a bad experience, again. So that's justification. That's the reason why prices are the way they are. And again, if all things were normal and I could get unlimited stock of this, obviously prices wouldn't be that way. And that I would be moving through the stuff as much as I could. If the demand was still there and I had unlimited access to products, get rid of it. Get more, get rid of it. That's the whole name of the game when it's that kind of a market. When prices creep up and I can't get that product anymore, I have to string it out and make it last. That's why things are what they are with pricing. And I understand that that is not, doesn't make you feel any better. That does not help your situation. I understand that. Because I see you frustrated, and I see you emotional, and I see that you're upset. And that makes me upset. Because, again, as part of this community that used to have a player base that came in and play, and I haven't held events for a year and a half now. And as somebody that used to host league cups and league challenges and weekly tournaments, all this stuff affects my business. And that you're upset, I'm upset too, because I'm a part of the community too. But again, as a business, I have to do both sides. I have to tiptoe that line between being there for the community and then making the product stretch out to where I'm still a Pokemon store or a Magic store or a TCG card store, whatever. And again, a lot of the people that come to my store understand the pricing thing. Because a lot of my stuff that I sell in my store, because I sell video games, I sell D&D supplies, I sell dice and all that, everything that a game store has, I have in my store as well. And people know that when they pick up a player's handbook for D&D off my shelf, it is MSRP $49.99. It's a $50 book. And I price my books $5 below MSRP. So I sell my books for $44.99. That person that picks up that book can go on Amazon right that second, buy that book for $31.30 right now. I just looked this morning. And have it to their door in a couple days. That's that way for all product. That's the way for everything that I stock. So why aren't they doing that? Why are they buying it from me? And, there's tons of reasons, and, we could talk about that in another video, about the idea of the here and now factor and what we call the convenience tax and things like that. We can talk about that in another video too. But people buy that stuff knowing that there's a cheaper option and that there's exerting exterior pressures on that object that may or may not make that price worth it to you. So, and again, I sell D&D books. It's not like I don't. And if I didn't, I'd have to lower the price, right, to make it more enticing. But if I got so low where I wasn't making a profit, because I pay $28 and $28.25 for D&D books. Again, you can buy them on Amazon for $31.30. Shipped. That's shipping included. That is a non-compete model for me. I can't do that. I can't sell those books on Amazon because I'm not making money. Again, so that's the whole idea. That's the whole thing with, again, things being convenient and local and right there, right now, that kind of stuff. And again, that's another thing about pricing that, you think about in stores. This is not just Mason sells Pokemon cards and he has prices insane. He's a piece of shit. There's a reason. There's more to this than just me being greedy. It's for a reason. I promise. And hopefully that helps you understand. There is tons of stuff that I can continue to talk about, but I feel like that addresses the vast majority of the stuff that I've seen in response videos. And I'm not going to put too much more investment in this. If you want to talk to me about anything, at any time, about any of my videos, write me an email and talk to me. And we'll talk about it in person. And if you want me to talk to you on your channel or talk to you on a live stream, we can talk about that and see whether or not it's something that I would want to do. I do videos and discussions with people all the time. So, and I'm happy to do it. I think it's fun. That's one of the best things about YouTube is that I'm able to go on other people's channel and talk to people about things, and we get to have a dialogue about it. It's awesome. That's the funnest part about doing this stuff, is being able to go to people's channels and talk about stuff and share ideas and share experiences and discussions and talk about this stuff. That's why I'm here. That's the fun part of this. I'm here to, give you distribution knowledge and information and how things work too. But that's what's fun to me, is doing those discussions. I want to do it. But again, reach out to me, Mason at cardinalgaming.com. We can talk about it. Anything you want. Anything else? Probably. Okay. That's the thing that I'm at, and I want to be positive and supportive and have people be positive and supportive of me, and I don't want it to be combative. I want to have discussions. I want to talk about things. I want to be able to explain things. If people have questions and don't understand, I want them to be able to come to me and ask me questions. And maybe I can do a video on it, because if you have questions about it, other people probably have questions about it too. That's all good information that I can use and make content with and provide people with information. Again, this is me trying to help and allow people to understand. And yeah, I'm a person and I have a personality, and I'm going to inject opinion in it, and that you need to take that and digest it and rationalize it with yourself. Okay. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you guys watching, because this is like a 30-minute video at this point. So I want you to go on to somebody in the Pokemon community, anybody else that you watch, and go in their comment of what their last video is, and just, if you like that person, explain why you like their content. I don't care who it is. I don't care how big they are. Actually, I do care how big they are. Do that to your favorite content creator and say, hey, I love your stuff. You are doing great things for this hobby. And then I want you to go to a channel that has, let's say, less than 5,000 subscribers. And go out to those people, and whoever's your favorite, and say, hey, I like what you're doing, I like your videos, and or just what do you want to say to them? Just to share positivity and share the acknowledgement of whether or not you think they're doing a good job. It's very rewarding, and it's very fulfilling to have people say that. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys supporting the store. I appreciate you all. I look forward to continuing a dialogue, a discussion, and talking about things. That's it. We're getting ready to open, so I gotta go. But thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys. Bye.